Hello and welcome to the new Broomfield House at the new Somerville High School. We are christening it tonight with an alumni game between the old alumni versus the new alumni. We have 4 of the 5,000-point scorers in the history of Somerville Highlander girls basketball here with us tonight. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Harmon alongside Jeff Argenziano filling in tonight for Jack Conley. And we are excited, Jeff, to be here at Broomfield House to christen this beautiful new facility and to see some greats from Somerville's past.
Yes, Todd, and what you are seeing, and thank you for welcoming here, Todd. We have Sheila Freitas-Haley walking, head coach of the current girls team, Lady Highlanders, and she has the ball in her hands right now. And what we have the old versus new, as you mentioned, and on the old coaching is Megan Foster and 1,000-point scorer Joelle Martin, who's in the plaid shirt on the bench, and she will be coaching the old roster. We have Indira Evora, Melissa Mcgovern from the class of 13, Ella Tyler and Melissa Baptista from the class of 14, and Kelsey Garrity and Marie Silva from the class of 10. On the new team, we have Jennifer Velasquez, Jill Hutchinson, Lauren Farina, Bridget Frazier, and Elizabeth McEwing. They are all from the class of 20.
Of course, head coach Sheila Freitas-Haley was talking before this game began and before we began filming, talking about how it's vitally important to her to get this alumni game going for these newer alumni who basically were road warriors through a lot of their time with Somerville. So they get the opportunity tonight to christen this great new facility. So a great opportunity for that group from the class of 2020, Elizabeth McHugh and Jill Hutchinson, Laura Farina, Bridget Frazier, and Jennifer Velasquez finally getting to play here at Broomfield House.
Yes, and what they have is they are all graduates. They are all in college right now. Lauren Farina is running cross country. She's lacrosse at Westfield State. So of the new playing in college a sport is Lauren Farina.
Here we go.
Are you going to be? Are you going to be doing this game?
Hopefully, I don't drop it.
As always, Jeff, you will have some, kind words for officials throughout the game, as you always do.
For the cameras, please say your name.
Michelle Anzalone.
There we go.
Of course, we have alum Michelle, class of 1989. Kickball.
That's a kicked one.
So coaching the new alums is no one, as Sheila is also officiating. So they can coach themselves.
That's right, they will coach themselves. Hutchinson has it out on the right wing. Looking to get the pass to the interior there. We'll kick it back out. As they get it to the inside. Trying to get that one up. Blocked away though.
Melissa Baptista with her first block of the game. Kelsey wants the ball. You got to remember, some of these, they are not in perfect game shape, except for Indira, which we'll talk about coming up soon.
No question about that. So that one's up. Rebound attempt, knocked out.
We'll give the rebound to Kelsey on that one.
Old alumni working it around the perimeter now.
It should not even be a close matchup here with the abilities of the old team.
Dribble penetration out for the mid-range jumper from the baseline is no good. Weak side rebound brought out by the new alumni.
That was Melissa Mcgovern, and the new alums were very nervous looking at the career stats. But as you know, Todd, when you're playing a game, it does not necessarily mean what you did as an 18-year-old. A 17-year-old, you are now in your 20s. None of them are in their 30s, but you are in a different playing shape, a different mentality. Some might be better, some might be worse, Todd.
I think the new alumni need to work with some pace here. I think that's a good point, Jeff. The old alumni working it now with the penetration. Dish out for the three-pointer, no good, off the mark. Indira working hard on the boards.
That's Melissa there with the offensive board. Melissa Baptista star at Tufts University. And we'll go over during some of the timeouts what's going on in their futures and their past, record-wise, Todd.
New alumni working it around, trying to penetrate it inside, trailing by 2. There's the shot, put up, nothing but the bottom of the net for Elizabeth McEwen. I'm sorry, for Jill Hutchinson.
Jill Hutchinson star, all-star her last 3 years in the GBL. Well, Northeast her sophomore year.
Tremendous soccer player as well.
McGovern can't hit that, so watch out. Melissa in the low post is going to be the toughest matchup of the game.
Baptista, just great fundamentals down low. That's a tough matchup for the new alumni down there.
And the old are already asking for a timeout.
That's
Todd.
right. Work
Are we
that
going
pace.
with 5 a game?
New alumni need to work that pace. But
Michelle, we should have got earrings out.
out.
We'll get on Michelle the entire game if we have to. Indira's going easy on him, as we'll talk about Indira the first time out. Melissa's not going easy on Bridget Fraser. She gets the board.
Fraser pulling down that board. Lots of rebounds for Bridget throughout her time. Hutchinson kicks it out to McEwen from the corner. The three is up, no good.
Indira with the board.
Indira now running the floor.
Still always goes to her right.
Goes up against Velasquez. Great job by Velasquez. The stolen right back by Indira.
And they're yelling at Freitas Haley for the ball
I don't know where the officials were on that one.
Yeah, no foul. Ball out of bounds. Melissa Baptista, while she was at Tufts University, only 15 losses in 4 years. Todd.
Wow.
They got to the national championship game and lost to Thomas More in 16. 17, they got to the national championship game and lost to Amherst. And in 18, they lost in the quarterfinal. So that was Melissa Baptista, who is number 32 over there on the bench in red. A couple of stats about Melissa Baptista. Her Tufts career, although she did score 1,000 points for Somerville, 1,075.
Yep.
Got to the tournament her last year here. That was in a loss at Woburn in the first round. For Tufts' career, she is 4th all-time scoring in 1,337 points, 6th in rebounding with 635, steals 6, blocks 3rd with 198, and 11th all-time career three-point shooting. So she had a stellar Hall of Fame career at Tufts University, and you will see her one day doing many amazing things in the world of business as well. So that's Melissa Baptista for you.
Timeout on the floor is over.
Give me your score sheet.
Trying to find it. As they work it around, Bridget Fraser penetrates to the interior. Farina kicks it back out. Hutchinson with it at the top of the key.
Do you have an earlier one?
Working to Fraser. Fraser penetrates, puts it up. No good off of Bridget Fraser.
Melissa with the board. It's 2 boards for Melissa, and Dare all the way. Passes it off to Kelsey for 2.
Oh.
Those are memories of the Shannon Clark days. Head coach in the 2010-11 year. As they averaged about 80 points a game that year, Todd.
Back the other direction. Old alumni with it now. Working it down to the block. A little cheeky pass attempt there, stolen away by the new alumni. Hutchinson feeds it off. There's a three-point attempt from the top of the key by Fraser, no good. Back the other direction is Indira running the point now. Kick ball is going to be the call.
Nope, you got another one?
Nope. Mm-mm. That's all I got.
Jennifer in the game now. With Lauren out, Ella Tyler with the air ball.
That's the most recent one, or the oldest one. Fraser has it now on the right wing. Possibly.
Michelle, who hit that? Which one?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
There's Baptista again with
Melissa
the
gets her on
baseline,
this-
Jay.
Nobody's
no
gonna.
good.
Yep, nobody's gonna stop
Follows
her.
herself up though.
That's a foul. You still have no left.
Old
Michelle
alumni.
Ever, the professional, going at it with the players, instigating some technical fouls possibly.
That possibly so.
Here is asking Melissa to run. Ella Tyler trailing. Mcgovern, known three-point shooter in her day. Melissa
Baptista again on the interior. Doesn't get that one to fall, but steals it away. And she's able to tip that one out.
Somewhere Jason Costa is smiling.
Baptista just working those offensive boards.
But she's still not hitting anything. Bridget Fraser with the board. So many players have gone on to magnificent careers, not just as in college in the playing days, Todd.
There's Elizabeth McEwen from that right wing spot. No good.
Tipped away by Jennifer. Kelsey all the way in for 2.
Out.
Oh, throws up an
running.
alley-oop.
Oh!
Indira throws up the reverse
Indira.
layup for her first 2 points. Gets the offensive board.
That's the assistant athletic director role on that shot.
Somebody very special taught her how to turn her hand the opposite way for those reverse layups.
There's Jill Hutchinson with the 3. Makes it a 3-point game. Old Alumni leading 10-7 right now.
So we are missing 1 basket by the Old Alumni. We'll have to credit that to somebody. But many of them out of gas, surprisingly, Todd. Kelsey Garrity, an assistant coach with the Winchester High School team. Jill's always in shape, Todd. Bridget.
There's a follow-up by Bridget. Frazier with the follow. The new Alumni tighten this one up, 10-9 now. 30 seconds remaining on the clock in this portion of the game. Indira has it. Looking to penetrate to the interior. Instead, they'll kick it back out. There's a 3-point attempt from the left wing. No good. Baptista kicks it around.
Holding Bridget's back.
Yeah, I think she might have been over Bridget's back. No whistle from the refs, though. Last second attempt there by Mcgovern is no good.
I don't know if it's good or bad that Indira's practice shirt still fits her perfectly for Summerall days. Anyway, Todd, going to Joelle Martin. Joelle Martin is your coach of the old. She has the flannel shirt on the bench. She's clapping her hands right now. Joelle Martin is the all-time leading scorer of everybody in Somerville with 1,280 points. She is also in the Merrimack College Hall of Fame, inducted in 2017. She's also in the NE10 Hall of Fame. She's #1 in career points with Merrimack with 2,038. That's from 2002 to 2006. She's #8 in rebounds, #2 in steals, #10 in assists. She's #1 in points in the season with 613. Career scoring average 15.7 per game. She's the all-time leader in field goal made career, 697, and free throw season, 86%. They got to the Division II championship, loss in 2003-04. She's in the Hall of Fame, and that's Joelle Martin. Joelle Martin also led the Lady Highlanders back to away from her college days, Todd, to the Garden against Brockton in 2001 season. Joelle was the all-scholastic with the Globe, both her junior and senior years. And Somerville went undefeated into the game against Brockton. They had 1 loss during the year, which was at the Hoop Fest, the first annual Hoop Fest, to a team from Notre Dame of Pennsylvania. But that game did not count because they were not part of the MIA schedule. It was an additional game that the girls played, and they went into the tournament without a loss. So they ended up the year with technically 1 loss to Brockton in the state semifinals. At the time, head coach Brian Harris. Brian Harris coached from the 92-93 season up until 2009-10. Best thing known about Brian Harris, who's very close with Michelle.
Who's that?
Brian Harris, Michelle and I have, well, we've spent a lot of time together, all 3 of us.
I've known Brian since I was about 5 years old.
And Brian has known everybody who's on this court as well.
Wait, here we go.
Brian Harris. Best thing about Brian Harris is a lawyer too, Todd. He knows rules inside and out, and a lot of rules were changed for the MIA due to Brian Harris's input and making sure that rules were changed to reflect those positive for the student athlete, the ladies. A lot of rules that were written in the time based on just men, boys, and not thinking of the female athlete. And Brian Harris involved a lot of those characteristics into a lot of rule changes. So Brian Harris has to be credited for a lot of things with the MIA as well. Brian Harris, 300 wins as a coach as well. Next time out, we'll go over the coaching list for this team.
Baptista with a three-pointer from the right wing. That's going to go over the backboard. So the new alumni will have the opportunity to take the lead, trailing by a point here. As Frazier looking for Farina down on the low block, stolen away by Baptista. She's in against Hutchinson and finishes.
I was giving the new alums the deficiencies of the old alums as players, and they all looked at me and said, didn't she score 1,000 points in college? I said, yes, but I can tell you what to do to make her game much more difficult.
Now, are you seeing those being applied, Coach Argenziano?
Yes.
That's the question.
Well, they're trying. That's a block by Melissa. You can't contend against that. As I stated earlier, Melissa is the third in blocks in history at Tufts University.
Frazier driving in.
McGovern takes the charge.
Oh, McGovern setting and taking the charge.
In this game, we cannot have anybody foul out because we're lack of players. Assistant coach of the old is Megan Foster, who was a former school committee member, former announcer for this crew. The year before you started, Todd.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Nice drive there, but could not finish. McEwen comes away with a rebound. Looking to get the ball to the interior. Instead, they'll kick it back out to Hutchinson.
Lisa into the game now, Todd. Right?
It's Hutchinson looking to go in. Yep.
Farina.
Oh, Farina misses that one.
Here's Ella Tyler. Ella Tyler came up in the 2010 season, and she's known for her threes and her pull-up jump shots.
Pulls down her own rebound.
Turnover, Ella.
Stolen
Watch out.
away.
Run the floor, Hutchinson.
Hutchinson runs the floor nicely and finishes. It's that pace, the new alumni. Oh, look at Indira, says, you got pace, I got pace right back at you.
Next time out, we'll talk about what Indira Ivora is up to these days, who is currently your assistant athletic director.
And just made a nice fast break.
Taking over for Heather, who took over for Dan Curran.
They get it into Farina.
Stan Vieira not here, who took over for Nicole Veely, who took over for Jerry Knight. Indira Ivora went to St. Mike's, scored 1,029 points at St. Mike's in 103 games. Career average 10 points a game.
Frazier's three-point attempt, no good.
Next time out, we'll talk about what Indira has done in the world of basketball. And she's done a lot better things than that pass.
Yes. Hutchinson now will pull this one back out. Feeds it right in there.
For
Jennifer.
two. That's what I'm saying, Todd. You got to remember, these girls are all 18, 19
That's
years
right.
old, who have much more stamina
It's all about the pace.
than our current backcourt here for the old.
That is correct. All about the pace as Velasquez gets that one. New alumni back down by only a
But
point.
Melissa says, I'm just as old and I'm dominating this game.
I am the master of the post, says Melissa Baptista. Look at Hutchinson push that pace. She's going to pull up on the jumper. No good there. Indira pulls down the rebound, and she's going to push that pace.
Do we have
On
a
the ground,
trainer on
Elisa
hand
on the
in case there
ground.
is an injury? Melissa travels, no call. There you go, it's about time, Michelle.
Oh, there's the travel.
And when, all kidding aside with Michelle, when she officiates, the number one thing, the best thing about you'll see from Michelle during a timeout, she will take the time to talk to the players and teach them the teaching points, saying, look, this is the reason why this happened. This is the reason why this didn't happen.
And that is incredibly important, especially when you're dealing with high school players.
Yes. And she'll always take that opportunity. A lot of officials don't. They just want to get their paycheck and leave.
Yep. And if you don't tell them what they've done wrong, they're not going to be able to correct it anyway.
Yeah, it's so true to this false. Kickball again.
Baptista.
But we have no shot clock right now. Melissa can't understand it. She's saying it went off her wrist. Indira wants a timeout. How can she be out of gas?
Working around the perimeter. Making them run as they swing side to side. Hutchinson from the top of the key, no good.
You gotta, at one point, they got to turn it on, Todd. You can't lose to these young girls.
Well, the old alumni up by 3 right now. Get it inside to Indira, out to Mcgovern. No good, but there's Baptista in the interior.
In the end, Todd, it all comes down to coaching.
The positioning, Bridget Frazier with the positioning.
Credit this 3-point lead to Megan Foster and Joelle Martin.
It's all about the coaching.
And those you remember, and one of the timeouts I will talk about, give the credit to Phantom and Malicious.
Oh, look at Indira.
And Edge gets the steal. I think they need a timeout, Todd, so I can talk about some more information.
Oh, Indira.
Oh, she's out of bounds.
She is working that defensive pressure. Minute 30 remaining here in this quarter of the game. A little give and go action between Frazier and Hutchinson, but Hutchinson's attempt to get it out to Farina goes awry.
One minute, they're walking up the court.
Walking.
Melissa wants the ball in the low post, but Indira and Kelsey are actually working a play right now. And it looks like Indira's gonna go baseline.
Defended out there by McHugh and kicks it around.
Great up fake by Mcgovern.
Nice job, and rolls out. 5-point lead still for the old alumni as Frazier brings it up. Under a minute remaining here.
McEwen just dominating the boards.
Double team over there in the corner, but she gets out of it. Frazier with it now. Feeds it down low, looking for Elizabeth McEwen. McEwen kicks it back out to Frazier. There's Frazier with the drive. Her shot is up. It's no good, but Farina gets it. Her back attempt is no good.
And you have to remember is when Indira was the JV coach, this was her team.
True.
This crew was her team. Indira's going out of bounds, asking Joelle for a play.
All right, they got their play. 10 seconds remaining.
No 10-second call.
Well, apparently not.
In MIA girls basketball, no 10-second call.
Good point.
And the ladies for 3, Mcgovern.
Oh, at the buzzer, Mcgovern.
Mcgovern once hit a half-court shot as well in her high school days.
Old alumni hit with that 3-pointer. Take the 8-point lead going into the half.
So a little about Indira here. She went to St. Mike's in 2013-14 season. She had scored 1,029 points at St. Mike's. In Somerville, she scored 1,260. So just a few shy of Joelle in the all-time leading scorer. So 9th in all-time 3-points career, 7th in free throw percentage. Free throws first season, she's number 10, ranked 8th in steals for her career. But what's more important for Indira is she is currently a part and playing on the Cape Verde national team. Cape Verdean national team that just played in the Afrobasket qualifying sectional in 2021, 4 weeks ago, which took place in Cameroon. They ended up losing in the qualifying round. In the knockout round, they lost to Kenya and Cameroon. They ended up coming in 10th place. Nigeria, Mali, and Cameroon came in 1, 2, 3. So in those games, Indira had 3 points in the classification round. In the second game, 7 points in the 19-year classification round. In Group C, 4 for 4 from the free throw line when they played in Senegal, and that was in the Group C classification round. In that round, they end up in 9th place. So it's a program that's building. It's a program that is building from the time with talking to her when she was in 2013 and she was in high school, and then you developed with this program because she was born in Cape Verde. She is on that roster, and she is playing very well. It's an incredible accomplishment. You play in high school, you score 1,000 points. You play in college, 1,000 points, and now you're playing on a national team for your country, and also now she's giving back to the community as the assistant AD. So you know when she wants to turn it on right now, she should be able to turn it on, because 4 weeks ago she was playing in Cameroon for the Cape Verdean national team.
That's a good point. Excellent point. We have reached the half here, an 8-point lead for the old Alumni. We got a little break going on the court. We're going to take it with them, Jeff, as we are enjoying the new Broome Fieldhouse and the Alumni Somerville Lady Highlanders basketball game here at the new Broome Fieldhouse. You're watching Somerville Highlander girls basketball on Somerville Ed TV.
And as we look at halftime, Todd, we'll go over a lot of the memories from this team. It was built beginning. Barbara Whittle was the head coach when it started. Linda Silvestri was the next head coach, passed away in 2009. Brian Harris took over for Linda Silvestri, who was a Hall of Famer at Boston State, which is now UMass Boston.
UMass Boston. I got to work on that.
So Linda was Hall of Fame basketball player at UMass Boston, Boston State back in the day.
There we go.
So the head coaches after that, Brian Harris took over in 92, 93, and went until 2010, coached everybody on the old team. Next year, and went one season. Shannon Clark, 2010-11, that was Kelsey's senior year. John DePasquale, 11 and 12, and then when you came on, Todd, Paul O'Halloran, 2012-13 to 2016-17, and now currently since the 18th season, we have Sheila Freitas-Haley, who was part of the coaching staffs for those teams. Now, those that remember this program back in the day, you cannot say Lady Highlander basketball without talking about Jim and Bob, who were the announcers on Educational Channel 15. They used to sit right where we sat, and at the time, Todd, they came on. They weren't the biggest basketball fans. They were hockey fans. They followed Coach Harris from Arlington Catholic High School, where they were both graduates. Coach Harris was the Arlington Catholic coach. Prior to that, he came in, the announcers that George Wood hired for that night did not show up. And Brian said, I got these two guys in the crowd that came to visit me. And then from there it was history.
The rest
What they
is
ended up
history.
doing was they had different methods of how to announce the game. They incorporated hockey, they incorporated comedy, because at the time the girls team was at a low level and they were building to what they became. And what Jim and Bob gave everybody was a higher level of prominence. They gave them nicknames, they gave them promotion, and they gave the crowd and behind every girl from the Pride program wanted to sit behind them at their table, cheering on the girls and just waiting for that Jim and Bob nickname to come up from their days. The players over here that have a Jim and Bob nickname is, as I mentioned earlier, Megan Phantom Foster, Joelle Malicious Martin, Kelsey the Gangster Garrity, Melissa Beast Baptista, over there with her sweatpants on not playing is Marie Samurai Silva, and Indira Edge Evora, and the last Jim and Bob nickname, because they stopped announcing in 2011, is Melissa the Beast Baptista. So there were a lot of creative names back in the day, but you know, everything runs its course. After that, took over was Megan Foster and John Sapichetti announced for a couple years, then Tim Cronin and Jason Costa, and then came on the legendary Todd Harmon. And who was your first partner, Todd? I'm drawing a blank.
I'm trying to recall.
He only lasted 1 year.
I had Braden, but that was after Braden.
Yeah, after that was Braden Moriarty was your next.
Moriarty was the next one. I do not recall, actually.
Wish we could have back. However, you have Jack Conley now.
Jack Conley is fantastic.
Filling in. So over the years, you had a lot of fill-ins, but the main stays were Jim and Bob to Todd Harmon and Jack Conley. So there's your era of time between the coaching staff, GBL champions, and North champions. Somerville was North champions in 2000. On paper, they are North champions in 2000. 2001, they are legitimate North champions, beating Andover and advancing, as I mentioned, to play Brockton in the Garden on the Garden floor. After that, Coach Harris is one of his best years in 2004, was an 18-2 season, losing here to Andover. Amazing Alicia Caruso was the starting center on that team, who is still the all-time field goal percentage leader at UMass Boston. Melissa Mcgovern in front of me.
Actually, absolutely. Melissa Mcgovern doing the inbounding here as we get in the second half.
And there was a famous halftime interview when Melissa Mcgovern was in 6th grade, sat behind Jim and Bob, and they said, you know, we're going to have this part of the team and who's going to be on the team. And she looked over at Jim and Bob. She said, I'm going to make it.
But she was right.
Jim was a little sarcastic and he said, well, no guarantee you're going to make it. And she says, no, I'll make it. And she graduated in 13, out of bounds off Kelsey. We'll talk about Kelsey next dead ball as we covered Joelle. So a lot of nicknames over the days. We had Victoria the Python Palmacci.
That three is
Tanya
no
the
good.
Predator Perry. Esther Jackpot Joseph.
I like that one, the jackpot.
Yes. And the thing is, Todd, a lot of the players, Jim and Bob gave the nicknames to the players without even knowing their abilities or knowing anything. Oh, behind the back!
Mcgovern looking for that putback, couldn't quite get it, but gets her own board. Chasing that one down. They're going to reset it, let Indira run the point.
In the house, we have Lauren's parents. We have Terry and Jackie Martin, the mother and sister of Joelle Martin, are here. And of course, Carl and Joanne Vining, who were very beneficial helping out. In paint is
Kelsey Garrity puts that in.
Helping out Melissa Baptista's career in the game of basketball. Carl Vining was her coach for all those years on their travel teams and their AAU teams.
10-point lead now for the old alumni.
Gotta get-
Frazier drives that one in.
Get in for back in the game for some threes. Kelsey, a little too fancy, a little early.
Fancy. Alyssa comes away with it. Hutchinson feeds Frazier down on the low block.
We are missing 2 points from the new, Todd, so we have to figure that out at some point. Give the assist to Kelsey.
And Indira down by herself.
As I said, remember, Kelsey was Indira was the coach of this whole team here in the new alums.
Well, she's using that inside information right now
Yes.
to help build this 12-point lead. And she knows the ins and outs of this new alums team. That one's no good from three, goes out of bounds.
We also had Tashi the Hammer Hamilton. She played at Regis.
Now, what was Indira's nickname?
Indira was Edge.
Edge. That makes sense. And Beast for Baptista makes perfect sense as well.
Jill the Lunatic Liberatory.
Oh, very nice.
Bejaline Razor Romeus.
Got her. That's a three.
It's a three right there. Attempt by McEwen is no good.
But there was so much more to the program than Jim and Bob's nicknames.
Garrity puts that one home.
And the key is, you remember, is everybody played in college afterwards and attended college. And that's the number one thing Brian Harris always enforced. Still go to college and get your career and get your degree.
Baptista with the baseline drive. Good job by Farina, but Baptista follows it up, gets her own board.
And this
Quick
all
hands.
begins and ends with Stacey Delano, who scored 1,000 points got 1,000 points in 1995. Stacey Delano broke the record for Ronnie Perry, who had the all-time points
Garrity putting that three home. Shooters rolling on it.
for the boys, and she took over the all-time lead in points for the boys, for the whole program, both programs at the time. Stacey Delano, who was an All-American softball player at Merrimack College, did not play basketball. In 2001, which I think Michelle might have reffed the game, 2001, they played a fundraiser game here, and alums played, last time there was a known alumni game, they played the 2001 team that got to the Garden, and Stacey Delano had not picked up a basketball in years and completely dominated the Eastern Mass semifinalists. Kind of like what Indira should be doing right now. But basically what Melissa is doing. So that would be the matchup. Melissa against Stacey Delano is what everybody would like to see.
That is in and out.
Lauren with the board.
Wow. Tough look there for Ella Tyler as that one just hit every single part of the rim. Trying to hit Frazier on the break out ahead, but stolen away by the old alumni.
Oh,
There she
Ella
hits
Tyler finishing off where she began her career.
Tyler with the
Tyler's
shot
last
there.
game was hitting threes at Woburn High School. Michelle reffed the game prior to that year. Michelle's done a lot of Somerville games.
Yeah, I can tell.
Clock running, Todd. That's one of my pet peeves. Stop the clock. And you know what my biggest pet peeve is?
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Changing the period, the quarter. The football game today, Todd, they didn't change. Who was doing the scoreboard up there with you?
A gentleman who did not know how to use the scoreboard.
And Joe Constantine gets a tight shot of the scoreboard every game to make it look professional, and now it's going to say 0 on the quarter and the period. Yes, the official was not happy with that score. He started yelling at him in the first quarter. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's why he pulled him out of the.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why they stopped the game.
I didn't know what that was actually.
Yes, he was very aggravated. Credit 2 offensive boards for Indira on that possession. And you got to credit the parents all these years, Todd.
Yeah.
Ed Bean, Indira's father, Paul Garrity, Kelsey's father, the Mcgoverns, the Hutchinsons. Frazier's mother was at every game.
Mcgovern finishing nicely there.
I believe Mcgovern went to UMass Lowell. 34. Well, Mcgovern was going to be a trainer. We'll have to double check that one.
Yeah. Farina with a drive. Looking for some help. Finds Frazier at the baseline. Looking back into Farina up against the Beast. And the Beast sends it back, but there's Hutchinson to follow up.
She had 2?
It was 2.
Yes. All right, first 2 points of the third here. Time's a-wasting. Next dead ball, I'm going to talk about what Kelsey accomplished in her career. Her father, state championship coach of Salem. Her brother did not score 1,000 points for Somerville. Came very close.
McGovern's 3 off the mark there.
I believe he had 968. That's you have to sleep with that one, Todd. Knowing I had 968.
That's so close.
And the thing with Indira and Joelle, you're on track. Joelle 1280, Indira 1262. So it's like, just think, that couple of games here and there. One playoff victory where Indira lost all 4 games in first round. Just one more playoff game could have been the all-time leading scorer.
Baptista with that one, with Farina in her face. 10 seconds remaining.
But Melissa says if you'd have let me start all those years there for my freshman year, I would have scored more than that.
Frazier on the interior, her shot is up, it's no good.
So after Kelsey Garrity graduated from here, finishing off her career at Lynn English in a playoff loss in the first round, she went to UMass Dartmouth from 11-12 to 15, and UMass Dartmouth are?
I don't know what you're looking for.
Their nickname, UMass Dartmouth.
I don't even know.
1,112 points total for Kelsey, made the all-rookie team her freshman year.
No, man.
She scored 1,000 points at UMass Dartmouth. She is an accomplished coach as well on the staff for Central Catholic when they got to the Garden. She is now currently with Winchester High School as part of her. And her brother is assistant coach at Malden Catholic, was at Central Catholic, was at Danvers. State champion coach at Danvers as well. Danvers now part of the Northeast Conference. Somerville back in the GBL. Back in the day when when the old played, you had GBL, you didn't even have to, you had 16 games, league games.
Right.
Because you had Peabody, you had Revere, you had Waltham, you had Arlington, and then they all disappeared. Yes, it was, yeah. And now they're all back. Revere is back, Chelsea is back. Revere is back. And you have the 2 Lynns. You have Lynn English and Lynn Classical.
That's correct.
Which provided a great football game for you this year, Todd.
Lynn Classical?
Yeah.
A fantastic one.
Yeah, you were right on their bench. You got a lot of information. You could have actually coached the team next week. You got so much information.
Absolutely, I could have.
So this is the new facility here. It is the same footprint as it was before. The court has been moved down.
Well, you have to have room for the rock climbing wall that's over there.
So the gym has been moved. The main court has moved down about, I don't know how many feet, but we're not at the same point.
Right.
So you have a wood floor, natural wood floor, not just painted wood floor, as some places like to do. And all the banners are still here. All the banners are up. And they took a picture next to the 1,000-point banner, the 1,000-point scores that were in the presence here prior to the game, Todd. We'll get that picture from Sheila Freitas Haley, your head coach, and Joe can put that on the intro. McEwen's here as well. As
Yes,
I'm just looking
don't
down.
forget about that. We've got to talk
Yes.
about that because the McEwens are here. Mrs. McEwen wanted to make sure that she was mentioned and on camera if possible. Just saying.
Yes.
If a pan happens that direction,
Pan the crowd there, Mr.
nobody
Trudell.
will be unhappy. Well, Miss McEwen had very nice words to say about you.
Yes.
You had said something very nice about Elizabeth in terms of her scholarship.
Yes.
And that was wonderful to hear.
Let me wipe it off.
Elizabeth McEwen, just a great player and a wonderful person as well, and her family just tremendous as well. I had really had a great time anytime I interacted with them.
Yo! Oops!
Oh,
And
the new alums trying that pace.
they try to pick up the pace and get Yenny for a 3.
There's Velasquez!
Just how she left off in Wilmington, Todd. That game still haunts my head every night when I put my head on the pillow. They had that game won, Todd, and they would have gone up against Drakeit for the rematch the next game. Jeez, Indira.
Indira, off
Please.
target. Off target.
Can we sub her out, please?
Can we get a shooter in the game, please?
Is Joelle going to take off those pants and get her shorts on and play?
There we go.
Indira's going to make up for that awful shot
There you
with
go.
her
She's pushing the pace.
her
Kicks it
10th
off.
rebound.
Trying to get it to Baptista. Instead, she'll kick it out. 3 attempt by Tyler's no good. There's McEwen with the weak side board.
Now, when they played at Danvers, the game you and Jack Conley called with Destiny Augustine
Yep.
and Sabatino, that team that won 11 games in 2018, during the break of after this bounce pass,
Nice pass. Oh, you
I'll
got
tell
to
a
finish
story.
though. Look at Frazier fighting for that rebound down low. She beat the beast for that one.
So basically, the similar roster played the 18 team, just a scrimmage pickup. Before the Danvers game, Bridget Frazier, Indira tells me, he says, yeah, we played like an alumni game. I said, you didn't? Why didn't you tell us? We would have taped it. She goes, well, it was during practice, and we actually lost. I'm like, you guys lost? So I said, you just came off playing. You just finished your Division II, all-star season. Kelsey just finished playing. Oh, they were tough. I said, okay, well, there's the example
That
of
18 team was tough.
an in-shape team
Right.
playing against just throwing a bunch of girls together who have success in their time. Even if Melissa wants to shoot as deep as that, you still may not beat a team that's a well-oiled machine as that 18 team was.
That's true. That was definitely, and that was a unified team at that point in time as well.
Jennifer
They came
Cremoni.
together so well. Yep, Cremoni on that team.
Hit that 3!
Destiny.
Jemima Joseph.
And these girls were on the bench, but they were freshmen. So you had Sabatino,
Yep.
Destiny, Jenny. Who was your center? I shouldn't have a problem with it. Yeah,
Jemima.
Jemima was there.
That
Jemima.
was the year. That was the year Jemima started to really
Yes, she
work
came,
the low
yeah, she brought-
post,
yeah,
the way
exactly, yeah.
use those fundamentals, and really started not fronting to the basket,
Yep.
but backing up to it.
Yep.
Well, Velasquez is going to get the break started. Oh, nice job there as McGovern's able to poke it away. McGovern looks it down to Indira. Passes up the 3.
Next time I will talk about Stacey Delano. We get a chance here. Stacey Delano, 96-99, played at Merrimack College. All-time records, batting average single season, 529. She's number 1. Number 1 in home runs with 45. 2-time All-American, 98 and 99. And her senior year, Todd, record did not strike out once. Her entire senior year, every at-bat. She's number 1 in RBIs with 55, number 1 in home runs, and number 4th in career batting average of 403 for all time at Merrimack College. That's Stacey Delano, and she is your other 1,000-point scorer who's not here present tonight for this program.
Indira from the corner thinks about it instead. She'll drive and kick it out. Baptista for the 3.
She takes that extra step back for the 3, knowing where she is on the court.
Breathe on her, I'm gonna call it.
19 points.
Frazier drives in, kicks it out to Farena. The baseline jumper, no good.
So as I mentioned before, assistant coach at one time in the starting center on the 2004 18-2 team is amazing Alicia Crucio. She went to UMass Boston, the Beacons.
The Beacons.
And she
gotta
played
work on
with
mine. I got to work on
Who hit that?
my knowledge for you,
Who
Jeff.
hit that, Todd? Who hit that, Michelle? Her? Hutchinson for 3.
Thank you.
Baptista in the interior. Farina pulls down the rebound.
Can you tee her up, please? I don't know who had more technical fouls in their career, Kelsey or Indira. I think, yeah, more than that. Kelsey once slapped the floor with 2 hands at Lynn English. Technical foul. Did not get tossed, though, for some bizarre reason.
Garrity a little cherry picking there.
And the nice reverse layup. Kicks that lead back. Anyway, Alicia Caruso is the all-time field goal percentage leader at UMass Boston with 49.5% from the paint. Field goal percentage. Amazing. Alicia still holds that record in the record books. Tanya, the Predator Perry, was at UMass Lowell from 04 to 08. That was the Riverhawks. Destiny played at Fitchburg State. Esther, short circuit of the scoreboards at Bunker Hill Community College, along with Mary O'Brien. Just some players that played in college. Michelle Haggerty, the Hoodlum Haggerty, she played at Framingham State and was the freshman, the JV coach at one point for this team. Jill Liberatore played for Worcester State.
Velasquez misses that 3.
Which is now Worcester State University. Bejaline Romius played at AIC. Tracy Dukas, a 4-year player at Worcester State as well. And Jemima, currently, Todd.
Yes.
UMass Dartmouth.
That is correct. And they are?
The Crow, what are they?
I'm just doing it back to you.
Yes. Something with a C. I can see it. I'm losing my mind these days, Todd.
Frazier with the 3, no good, but Velasquez with the weak side board.
We used to really upset George Wood. Was Jim and Bob would say this gym is the sports Mecca auditorium, and that used to really upset George Wood.
Sports Mecca auditorium.
Yes. For the alley-oop, no good. But yeah, Jim and Bob had the famous line at the end. They had a couple of lines, and they would go
Nice
off.
finish.
They would sign off by saying, "And here's Jim and Bob reminding you to hug a Highlander." That's what Indira yelled back at us earlier. So they had their shtick for a time, and they created a following, and now some people say our shtick is much better, Todd.
Well, that's good to hear. I don't know how factual that is, but Baptista once again just dominant out there right now. How many points does she have right now?
Right now, I have Melissa. 15 points for Melissa. I have to watch the game tape again because we were going through a couple of things here. Remember, all this stuff is off the top of my head, so
That's right.
people. No iPhone for me in front of me, Todd.
That's right, no iPhones at all. This is Jeff Argenziano. He is the man who knows all. That is why he is here this evening, to impart this information.
We used to have Nella the Assassin Asaro, Aaron the Hurricane Howe, Stacey Duncan Delano. Those are names from the past.
Hutchinson and McEwen, a little game of back and forth. Neither of them wanted the last shot there of the third quarter.
And we had Colleen Flash Flynn. But
Flash.
49. 49, okay, I'll have to check. I'll have to do a score sheet again when this game's over. Well, Todd, hopefully this can become a staple at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's going to take a team photo, which we will close out with this team photo, Todd,
No question
for
about that.
Bill Trudell. Bill Trudell, director, producer, extraordinaire tonight, doing everything he can.
Absolutely, Bill Trudell, excellent job as always.
Doubleheader today as well. And
Yes.
your coaches, Joelle Martin, along with Megan Foster, along with Sheila Freitas Haley. Can we turn this way?
Yeah, come over here.
Everybody, turn
Sheila,
this way.
turn this way for the camera.
Yeah,
We had a senior ceremony today,
There we
and they
go.
decided to go the other way. It's like, guys, come on.
there we go.
There we go. Perfect. Get the scoreboard
Good
behind
job.
you, too. Yes.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Excellent framing.
Oh, it's all for the fans.
Okay. Here we go.
All the mothers next to us. There's Terry Martin, and we have the McEwings.
That's right.
Here we go.
Michelle's even taking a picture.
Which camera do we look at? All of them.
All of them at once.
And just so you guys know, this will be broadcasted on channel.
That's right. This will be on the YouTube
Maybe.
channel, the Somerville Ed TV YouTube channel. Please
Don't thank us until
Follow.
you see the footage.
follow and subscribe. Please like it too.
No. Unless the mothers want to be involved.
Those of you
He's
who
all right.
want to take
Yeah,
a tour.
unless the mothers want to be interviewed.
No.
All right, well, all of these mothers at one time are all interviewed. And this was
There's
created. This was created by the 2002 team. This was Katie Harris's team in 2002, 2003 that came up with this. Megan Foster's team did not do this, even though the 2001 team might want to take credit for this. Why aren't they jumping?
It's been a
So now,
long game for the old alumni.
If you know their chant from the start, at the point of the third time, they are supposed to jump in the center
Yes.
and go up and down. But however, we will end on that, Todd.
Absolutely,
With a
we will.
49-23 victory for the old versus the new.
Exactly
alums.
as predicted by you. You've got those 4,000 point scores out on the floor. That's going to shine
Yes.
through, although the new alumni were able to push the pace a little bit and keep it close for the early going. But of course, the old alumni come away with the victory.
And one other thing, remember, Todd, on this team as well, which I didn't mention, is Indira was also an assistant coach at Franklin Pierce. So you have college level assistant coaches and coaching staffs on here as well. So that also affected their
Absolutely.
ability to play.
No question about that. Of course, the new alumni, no need for a coach because they are so spry with their knowledge that they were able to go out there uncoached and still put forth a good performance. A lot of fun tonight as we christen the new Bruin Fieldhouse. We look forward to great times ahead here in the Bruin Fieldhouse. The new version of it and the new version of Somerville High School as well. It has been fantastic being here to christen it here this evening. Thank you very much, Jeff Argenziano. I am Todd Harmon, and thank you very much for watching us here on Somerville Ed TV.